My husband and I met in California, and he was infantry, and I was intel, and I was on orders to go to DC. And he's like, I am not going to DC as an infantry. Yeah. So anyway, like long story short, we reclassed together, which was probably like the worst idea ever. We went to school together, and then we had a follow-on assignment. They put us in the same platoon, and then it was like just bananas. Like our platoon sergeant kept deploying him and trying to sleep with me,
Oh man.
and it was a mess. And I never like because I was harassed like every day of my career, and I just like dealt with it. And I mean, and I too like, it wasn't like I'm not trying to be like this innocent person. So, but that's one thing that I want to do with the podcast too is like make sure that the whole story is told. Like I definitely want to talk to those women who have been through some traumatic experiences and tell their stories. But I also want to share, like, okay, well, this wouldn't happen so much if these women would act right.
Shit crazy. Smoke to get my mind right. Chillin'. Trying to get my grind right. Fight for respect. Smoke just to chill. Waiting on the president. Shit getting.
What's up, guys? Sergeant G here from the Stone Vet, man. Happy Friday. Damn, it's been nasty, dude. That damn Arctic cold front came in and destroyed the central, the central states, man. I think
Yeah.
they know all the way down to Houston, is what I've been told. I think here in Oklahoma City, I think we got about 16 inches of snow in 3 days. It's crazy. And like everywhere else, dude, I was one of the lucky guys that got frozen pipes. And me being the crazy jarhead saying, "Dang, I gotta go thaw out my pipes because I ain't calling in a plumber to come do this for 150 bucks an hour." I did it. I thought it out. I fell through the ceiling, but I thought of it. So now I gotta replace some drywall. I gotta fix the ceiling. This weekend I'm gonna be mud and taping and mud. And I gotta clean up the mess I made. I have a huge mess trying to get heat up to these pipes, trying to thaw them out, man. Hopefully you guys get thawed out. The majority of you guys that are watching this, I mean, they say 72% of the country is covered in snow. So that artist, them Canadians decided to come to the U.S. and tear us up this winter, man. This February, it's crazy. I got the honor of bringing on a sister from the VTT family, man, Miss Leah Day. I don't know
Okay.
if you guys had an opportunity to check out her stories yet. She's on story number 3. They come out every Sunday, talking to helping, bringing on other family members, man, bringing on our sisters that served with us. You know how we are. Some of us are like, yeah, they're just females, man, but they are sisters. They signed that damn dotted line like we signed it. It don't matter. Regardless of how you think of them or whatever, man, they're our sisters, a family. And it's an honor that I'm able to bring Miss Leah on this Friday to the Stone Vet, man. We all about love and peace, right? We all about smoking that doja when we get the opportunity to, right? And everybody that smokes is all about love and peace, right? That's what we talk about, man. How you doing this Friday, Leah?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm
Thanks so much.
doing good. I'm glad I got you. I got to get you on the show. I told the guys I got to get them on each individual episode and have their own little episode here on the Stone Vet. Got to boost my numbers. Trying to get to that 100. Trying to get to that 100 subscribers.
Yeah,
Hopefully, I get there
like,
here
what's
soon.
the problem? Why aren't they getting on for you?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't think I got the right people sharing. You know what the biggest concern is? I had Justin on here not too long ago. Justin Grabe, another Army guy. I get the Army guys on my show. They love coming on the Stone Vet. They love the Stone Vet. I had him on the show, but he said the same thing. He can't get support from his brothers and sisters. He's like, they
Uh,
watch my stuff, but nobody hits that little pound button, that subscribe button. He's like, I don't know what to do. I said, that's the same problem I got. I'm getting views like crazy. Like I see my analyticals. I see all the analyticals. I'm getting the views.
yeah.
They ain't hitting that subscribe button.
You got to just tell them more.
I
Hit
got to
subscribe. Hit the
hit the
subscribe button.
subscribe. Right, right. So
Hit
Miss
the
Leah
bell.
here.
Notified.
Right, get in there, hit that button, man. Just help support us, grow. Help us help you. This is what we do
You.
here.
Yep.
Absolutely, that's what we do here. We come here, we do these shows, so you guys feel like you got a brother or sister in your corner. One of them dark days when you're like, these demons are kicking my butt today. I just can't handle it today. Turn on the show, put us up in the background. Here to our a little bit of our stupidity and ignorance that we talk about here and there. We support each other. I got Leah here. Leah, if you guys didn't know, she spent some time in the Army, man. Freaking Army, guys. Like I said, Army's always here. They always want to bark up the Marine Corps tree, man.
Listen, in all fairness, I never expected to join the military at all. But my brother is a former Marine, and he told me he would kill me if I ever joined the Marine Corps. So,
Yeah, he probably kill you. You ever told him he was a former Marine too? I'll tell you what.
no, that's I because I learned my lesson by calling him ex-Marine one time. He nearly killed me. I was like,
No, he
I'm
was right there.
sorry.
No,
I
he
was
was right there. Yeah, that's the one branch you don't want to join. That's why my son, he's 16. He tried to say, I'm gonna join Marine Corps. I said, you ain't joining the Marine Corps, brother. I don't care. I don't want you to join the Marine Corps. You can join the Air Force if you want to join a branch. Join the Space Force. We got the Space Force now. We can do the Space Force.
yes, right. I don't even know. I don't even know what that is, but
I don't either. I'm trying to figure out. I don't even know what their rank structure is. I don't know if it's still the rank, same as the Air Force or if they came up with their own rank structure now. Space Command or something. I don't know.
probably something like super awesome, like how drone pilots are
Right.
pilots. Mm.
Get some kind of cool freaking ranks and just don't care uniforms and just whatever, you know. The Space
Yeah.
Force. Why? Because they're always in space, right?
But
I don't know. They
I
just
don't.
said the land. They just landed on Mars. The rover just landed on Mars the other day, and so I was like, imagine if that thing would have landed. You know, they took the first pictures when he landed, and I was like, imagine there would have been something there. Like you landed, and there's something looking at you at the camera. The hell is this?
And I'll be leaving now.
Right? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think they got what's his name? Elon trying to build up a place in Mars, ain't he? Trying to get some kind of
Yes.
civilization going up
That
there.
man's taking over the world.
I told my
Speaking of
wife,
Houston, isn't that where he's
absolutely. I told my wife, I was like, I said it's sad that the first time we go to space in decades, it's a civilian, a billionaire that said, I'm going to space. He said, screw it, I'm just going.
He's like, watch me.
You know, so I was like, NASA ain't been to space in freaking decades. And I was like, oh, because they ain't got no money. I was like, that's sad. We ain't got enough money to send anybody into space that it takes a billionaire to send his own shit into space. Now he's sending people into space. I'm like, that's like I tell him, if you got enough money and the right people backing you, do whatever the hell you want.
Yep. That's why it's good to have money. That's
You know.
good.
So Leah here spent some time in the army. She said that she got a call sign when she was in the army. Fender bender. she but listen, listen to this. She went from motor T to intel to counter intel. Where the hell are my motor T bubbles at, dude? Who else has ever done some shit like that? Went from motor T to intel to counter intel. You know, you guys are way too dumb to be able to do something like that.
Oh,
Why don't you
man.
tell us a little bit about your story, Leah, about how you became this motor T counter intel specialist?
Listen, so I started in the reserves, and in the reserves, you only get like whatever choices of whatever units are around you,
Right.
right? So I actually first enlisted as a 92 Alpha, which is like supply specialist or something. And then after, like before I went to basic, I was like, oh no, that's really boring. I don't want to do that. I want to do something exciting. So give me that other one. So they moved me over to truck driver. Plus, my job training was only 6 weeks for that. So I was like, I'm gonna get out early and be able to just be a soldier and all that stuff. So I did that for 6 years. I deployed to Iraq. Lost a buddy over there, and that was not a pleasant deployment. Not so much because of my job or because of like us getting hit a lot. Like we had a huge show of force, which I don't know how our unit did this, being a reserve unit, but we had like a whole lot of guns. Like we had
It's a reserve unit. That's why you had all the money.
But no, I mean, so reserves don't have any money. Like we get the leftovers of the leftovers. Like the Marines give their leftovers to the reserves, right? So y'all get the Army's leftovers and then you hand it back to the reserves. And we're like, oh, but this is broken. And they're like, good luck.
Good luck.
We did, but we had like 650 cows. We had 2 240s, and then everybody else had a saw on our trucks, right?
Damn.
So like we didn't roll without some sort of gun hanging out of our truck. And I think that really helped us a lot because we didn't really get hit a bunch, which was good.
That's good.
But I mean, they would shoot at us a bunch, but as truck drivers, we're not allowed to shoot back unless we see the whites of their eyes. So
right.
that was
right.
fun. We'd be like, where's
deployed after 03. You must have deployed like after 2011.
Yeah. Now listen, I was legitimately in a convoy briefing one time because we would like sometimes like just a couple of us trucks would like hitch rides with other units and stuff. Now this was a convoy briefing with 101st. And they told us that their show of force would be, we would wave at them to slow down. Like somebody got in our convoy. We'd wave at them to slow down, tell them to like scooch over. And if they didn't do that, we would just start throwing rocks at them. Huh? Rocks. No, we're not doing that. So, no. They're like, we throw rocks. We're like, oh no, we don't throw no rocks in our convoys. We shoot at people.
We shoot at people, right? We don't throw rocks.
Yeah, it was crazy. So it was interesting because in my time in the reserves, like in Iraq, I ran into some jacked up active duty units. And I was like, if it's this bad here. And so then, of course, I went active duty because why not?
Why not? I saw what they got to do. And I was like, I'm jealous. I want to be able to try that.
So, but yeah, after I came back home, I actually went active duty because I was in debt up to my eyeballs. I was divorced. Like I was going through divorce when I was deployed and he took everything.
Oh man.
In my grandmother's China, he took everything. And we did that dumb thing of like, door-to-door salesmen come by and we're like, oh, we don't owe you anything. And it's only 30% interest. Cool. Sign me up. Yeah. But we did that for like a lot of stuff. So we had all kinds of debt and he hadn't paid on anything, got a car repoed in my name.
Oh man.
So I was like really struggling when I got back and there was no support. Like reservists don't really get a lot of support, so I went active duty because I was like, well, at least I know I'm gonna have free hots and a hot, I'm gonna have free
hots. Paycheck, right?
I'm gonna get a paycheck. It might not pay the bills, but it's
gonna be a paycheck coming in. It's gonna be a measly $1,000 coming in every 2 weeks. But
I only have 3,000 going out, but it's better than what I got now. So yes, I went active duty and I actually tried to go in as a medic because I really wanted to be a combat medic. But I was an E5 and they were like, nope, you can't come in as a combat medic E5. So I was like, well, I tried to hold my ground, I was like, no, you're going to give me that or I'm not signing the paperwork. Well, we're not giving it to you. And I was like, look, you can take my stripes. I was like, I earned them in the reserves. I'm sure it's not the same as active duty anyway. So like, I'll earn it back. And they're like, no, we need NCOs. So you're going to keep your stripes. And here's a waiver for that. And you got to pick a different job. So, and they gave me some shitty like choices. But one of them was intelligence analyst. And I was looking and my recruiter's like, hey, just sign for one of these. And then once we get you signed up, like we'll switch you over to medic. And I'm like,
yeah, right. Shut that.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, right.
So I wanted to make sure I set myself up as best I could because I knew he was lying to me.
Right.
So I picked intel analyst. And then they were mad at me. The sergeant major was like cussing at me. He's like, of course you got to pick the one where we got the most paperwork. We got to put a clearance in for you. I said, of course I do because I'm an E5 and I need money and I'm going to set myself up. Like you're not giving the job that I want. So Like,
Right.
yeah, go ahead and do that paperwork. Sorry, Major. So that's how I got into that. And I was an analyst for 3 years. I went to Korea as an analyst.
I hear Korea is a horrible place for females.
Dude,
I
so
just,
bad.
I think the three stories I had, everything was in Korea. I was like, damn, Korea's got to be a horrible place for females to
Oh,
go.
so bad. So yeah, I was up in 2ID and it's in like I didn't want to go there anyway, but you go, whatever, you have no choice. And I go up there and you have like a week of in processing and then you go to your unit for a couple of days and you have to come back if you're an NCO or an officer for a week of leadership training. And for the week of in processing, it was bananas. Like everything, like everybody come in, like Jag would come in and be like, "Hey, I'm so and so from Jag, and I'm here for blah 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 blah. Hey, by the way, you're probably gonna get raped while you're here."
That's bad. I'm telling you.
I am not even kidding. And then it's like,
Damn.
"Oh, I'm so and so from finance. Make sure your LES says da 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 da, and it's got this code. And oh, by the way, you're probably gonna get raped while you're here." Everybody that came in said, "Oh, by the way, you're probably getting raped while you're here." That was during in processing. And
That's
I was
insane.
like, "Excuse me,
I'm ready to go.
what is happening here?" And they're like, "Oh, it's the soju." I'm like, "No, it's not. Like, there's something wrong
There's
here.
something
Like,
wrong
this
here. It's
isn't."
called leadership.
So, and actually that week, because they put the females on the first floor of the barracks, and we didn't have locks on our doors. And I woke up in the middle of the night. I was dreaming hard. You know, when you're in that deep sleep where you're just like
Yeah,
drool.
right.
And I woke up because in my dream, I heard, "Don't tell me you fell asleep like this or fell asleep on me already." And it didn't match my dream. So I was like, "What the fuck?"
Right.
I woke up and some dude is laying on me, right? And he leans in to kiss me. And I was like, "Hold up." And he like rolls off and leaves the room. And I was thinking, did this happen? Like I was sleeping really hard, you know? So I
Right.
was gonna roll over and go back to sleep. But I was like, no, I gotta check this out. So I leave the room. I see this Joker walking down the hallway, and our day room was right down the hallway, and it had like two doors. So
Mm.
he went in one door and comes out the second door like he's coming out of the day room.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Trying to
said,
make it look like he was
"Hey,
in there.
yes." I said, "Hey, turnarounds, dude." Turned around and went to parade rest on me. I said, "Who the fuck is this?" What? So, like he goes to parade rest. I'd never seen this guy in my life,
Oh
right? But
man.
I'm in pajamas. Like he obviously knows who I am. So now I'm like really nervous. I said, "Who are you?" And he's like, tells me he's private so and so or something. And I'm like, go or no, he didn't tell me his name. He's the what's wrong, private, or what's wrong, sergeant? Da, da, da. I said, "Why were you in my room just now?" I said, "I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt if you tell me what the fuck just happened." And he's like, "Sorry, I wasn't in your room. I don't know what you're talking about." Like trying to play it off. I said, "Joker, I woke up with you laying on top of me." I said, "Go upstairs and get your ID card or right meow." And he like didn't want to do it. He was refusing to do it. I said, "PQ, call somebody now." I said, "Go get your ID card and bring it to me right now." And he's like, "Sergeant, please don't turn me in. Like, I've already gotten one Article 15 for drinking."
Already.
Because we weren't like, you're not supposed to drink while you're in processing.
Right.
So he's like, I've already gotten one Article 15 for drinking." I said, "That's not my problem." I said, "If you will talk to me right now, I will let you go, but you're not telling me what happened." I said, "You need to tell me the story." And he refused to talk to me. I ended up having to get CQ to drag him back down because he went upstairs to get his ID, didn't come back down. So the story goes, some girl was giving him head in the day room and was like, "If you want me to finish, you got to come to my room." Well, he was wasted, came to the wrong room, laid on the wrong girl, you know, And like I felt like I was pretty like I'm pretty laid back and like cool with some things. And I gave this joker an opportunity to complain to me and he didn't. I said, because you didn't, now you're going to fry. So he and the other girl got Article 15s and boy, they hated me. I was like, listen, Joker, I've been told like 15 times a day for the last 4 days that I'm gonna get raped while I'm here. Like, do you
No
think that
shit,
I'm
right?
paying?
No shit.
So yeah. So anyway, like when we came back for our leadership training for that other week, it was, make sure that you take care of your soldiers and do this and da, 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 da. And by the way, if one of your soldiers rapes somebody, it's your fault.
Oh
Like,
shit! Get the fuck out of here! My
I'm like,
fault.
so I'm supposed to like keep my soldiers
Babysitting. You
like
supposed to be
like,
babysitting them
hey, you know what?
24/7.
You look like a rapist. So I'm gonna deny you a pass this weekend.
Right? You do look like you're gonna rape somebody this weekend. I'm not
Right.
gonna let you out.
You look angry like you might rape somebody. Let's not do that. So you get to stay in your room this weekend. Like what?
Right? Nobody's leaving. Everybody's staying in their room this weekend. And
It
I'm
was
gonna be in the hallway. If you want to get out, you gotta come see me.
right. It was so bad. But like, I mean, there were good things about it, but I always focus on the bad things about Korea because I mean, so I ended up being a platoon sergeant as an E5 and I had
That's
no
that you guys talk about like that's not a normal thing. In the
no,
Marine Corps, as an E5, you're
you're
a fucking
a
platoon
platoon.
sergeant. No matter you gonna be the platoon sergeant as an E5. Like that's gonna
Now
be
wait a
you.
minute. What is a platoon in the Marines?
What do
How
you
many
mean a platoon?
how many people is in a platoon in the Marines?
Depending on what unit you're with, as an engineer, me as a platoon sergeant and an engineer, I could have anywhere between 40 to 80 people.
All right. Well, that's not normal in the Army. It's the E7 position in the Army. Like E5s are usually in charge of like 10 people.
No, no.
But so I was a platoon sergeant and I didn't have any other NCOs in my platoon. I had one corporal who was a dirtbag. I didn't have I didn't have an LT. So it was like just me.
What
It
kind of
was
platoon is this?
dude, it was crazy.
No
And my
NCO.
platoon
You're the only NCO.
I was the only NCO. So I was working from like, I'd get up, what time we do PT? 6. Yeah. So I'd have to be there at like 5 and do like first start meeting and stuff like that. Then we do PT. And I wouldn't be done for the day until like midnight every day. Because I did everybody's counseling. I did everybody's awards, Korea, somebody's always leaving. So I did everybody's awards. I did everything. And I shit you not, like out of our whole company, whenever there was a problem, it was always my platoon. So I would hear Sergeant Major like across the way, like, my name was Wade back then. Sergeant Wade. And I'm like who? Like it was always somebody in my platoon. I had the
You
dumbest
had a
smart
shitty
people.
platoon. You had that shit
I had the
platoon.
dumb,
You're like,
I
he
had
cannot
some
control
really
the freaking soldiers.
I did have like a handful of really good soldiers, really, really good soldiers. But the rest of them were garbage. And I mean, or like they're really smart, but Intel, like they're very smart, but they have no common sense. I had one kid show up one time. We're gonna do a fun run 5K. You know what that means in the military. I mean, you don't mean shit, right? But it's a fun run.
Yeah.
So we can wear civilian clothes. This joker showed up in flip flops. I was like, "What are you doing?" I'm gonna run in flip flops. I said, "You can't even run in tennis shoes. Go
Let
in
alone
your
flip-flops.
shoes." Like, what? I mean, it was just crazy. It was a hard year. It was hard.
Oh, like I said, I hear bad things about Korea. I don't know. I was like, I've never been. I hear nothing but bad things about Korea. And I'm like, I would not want to be in the army and stationed in Korea.
Yeah.
I do not want that at all now.
No, ma'am.
So
Well, that's where I got raped too, out there by my buddy, a friend of mine. So when they tell you they say, "Oh, by the way, you're probably gonna get raped while you're here," and it happens between I don't even remember, like your 2nd and your 6th month. It's somebody that you trust, that you're really close with. There's always alcohol involved, and I had this attitude like, y'all are dumb if you let that happen. And then, sure enough, between my second and 6 month, with somebody I was really close to, and alcohol was involved, it happened. So it it's crazy. I don't
That, that
recommend it.
that is nuts. I mean, with the crap that I mean, goodness gracious, all the that's some nonsense, you know. And that's just the intel, right? That's your intel piece. So you went from Motor T, said I'm gonna go actor duty. I need to make more money.
I was active duty in Korea.
In Korea, you said I'm gonna go actor duty intel, right? Actor duty intel in Korea.
Hmm.
So these guys they're so smart they stupid.
Yeah. If anybody's watching that, you were my soldier. I love you. Wow.
You so smart, you stupid. Hey, but we know 'em. We know people like
Can't
that.
stop this, but I love you anyway.
I know out here I work for the federal government. They hire engineers straight out of college. And I'm like, oh, you're one of those guys. The book
Uh,
didn't tell you that's how it goes, and so it's not working right. Man, that's not
mm,
how shit works, dude. Just because the book says it one way, it doesn't mean it's gonna be that way. You so smart, you stupid. It's
yeah.
cool, dude. I got you. I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of you, you know. I had Wade Saxton on here from Smoking Bacon, and he's an engineer. He's like an electronic engineer, I think he said. I said, but you actually, he spent some time in the army too. Like I said, I get army guys on my show all the time, dude. He's an army engineer. He did HVAC work. And I was like, oh, that's like me. I'm an engineer. I'm a Marine Corps engineer. I did HVAC and heavy equipment and water purification, diesel engine repairs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I said, but that's a whole different type of engineering. That's not like the going to school, learning, reading the books type engineering. You know, this is the engineering you're gonna bust your knuckles, you're gonna learn how it works, and you're gonna say you're an engineer because you know how to fix it, you know? And so
Hmm.
with that, I mean, like you said, you're so smart, you stupid. And we know a lot of people like that. I mean, just in life in general, you don't have to be in the military to know that. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are you so smart, you stupid, dude, that you're not making any sense right now. You
Right.
know,
I think
and
it
that
goes
was
with
your intel piece, right? That
yeah.
was your
That's why people say it's an oxymoron.
it is oxymoron. What you know, it is what it is. So
Mhm.
when you went intel, and you did that, and then what got you going into counter intel?
So I was in an S2 in California, Fort Irwin. Uh, listen, I joined the military to travel the world, and I never got to go to any place I wanted to go. But it is what it is. So I met my husband in California. He was infantry, and I was on orders to go to DC. And we did a thing, and we got married 2 months after our first date. But he was like, "I ain't following you to DC as an infantryman." And I was like, all right. I said, why don't you go counter intel? As a matter of fact, I'll go in with you because I want to do that job. So, like counter intel, it's not like other jobs in the military. Like you have to apply for it and like go through an interview process and all this stuff. And so we did all that together and both got in, went through school together. Do not recommend.
Yeah, go to school with your spouse.
Do not recommend.
He's like, we're living together. Now we're going to school together too, on top of that.
Especially, well, we're such different learners, and we're like living together, we're in school, and they're like, we know, so you're married, so don't be caught cheating on your school stuff, or you're gonna get kicked out. And we're like, so I mean, it wasn't fun, but we got through it. And then we went to Georgia as a follow-on assignment, and that place is just a toxic hellhole.
Albany?
So
You went to
no, we were in
Benning?
Augusta, so we were at Fort Gordon.
Gordon.
Hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, you just getting all the great places to go, aren't you?
So I tell you, I never got to go to a good place. Like I was like, can I go to Europe, please? Like that's why I signed up. And they're like, no. And I actually, I called my branch manager when I got orders to go to Korea, and I was like, can I go to like a deployable unit? Like I'd rather deploy than go to Korea. I'd much rather go to a combat zone. And he's like, you don't get more combat zone than Korea. I was like, Roger. Okay. You know? Sure
Sorry,
thing.
SOB.
I know, right? Like, alrighty. So yeah, so we go to Georgia and we were in the same platoon, and it was like ridiculous because our platoon sergeant was sending him overseas like constantly and keeping me in the rear, like trying to sleep with me, like touching me in the hallway, like, Sergeant Day, you look really sad today. Do you need a hug? And I'm like, get
The fuck away from me.
off, get off me. Like, don't touch me. So
Oh,
yeah, that is where my career ended. I ended up by that time, like, I mean, I've been like, I feel like up until that point, I didn't like love the military, but I got so comfortable in my misery because it's like, what else am I gonna do? I don't have a car. Like, I got nothing,
what else
so
do I got? I got nothing to go home to.
this is it. This is all like, and I was really good at it, like, but I was that female that like people would see me and go, and go the other way because I was really big on, and especially hard on females too, but like, you better wear your uniform properly. You better be on point, like doing your job correctly, like get rid of the attitude.
You
Like,
were a soldier. You weren't
I didn't put up with
not gonna
any.
do anything, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm a female, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna sit behind the rear.
No, sir. I got some stories about that. I was not kind. But I do feel like I was very fair. Like, I wasn't just a bitch just to be a bitch. Like, I was really hard on them because I expected the best. And like my platoon leader that I finally got in Korea after I'd been a platoon sergeant for like 8 months and just had that platoon by myself, like, we were a well-oiled machine,
Right.
and we ran the intel for the entire battalion, like whenever we'd go out to the field, which we're in the field 2 to 3 weeks out of every month. So my platoon ran that, like, um, so I had them and I would like drop them, but it was just like, the guys would tease me about something knowing that I would drop them
Right.
because it's like all in fun, but I would push with them and we all got stronger. Like, we were top in PT, we were top at the range. Like, my platoon was the best.
That's
And then I got a
Korea,
platoon
right? That
leader.
platoon sounds better in Korea.
Yeah. But I got a platoon leader and she's like, "Boy, you're so mean." And I'm like, ma'am, with all due respect, you need to get in your lane over there and go do some paperwork. And she tried to write me up a couple times, like, tried to counsel me to make me apologize in front of the platoon for being a bully. And I ripped it up. And I was like, no, ma'am, I will not do that. So my job as an NCO and as the leader of this platoon is to prepare these soldiers for war. And some of these soldiers, I see them and I can envision them going into the corner and pissing themselves when shit goes bad.
Right.
So that is my job, to prepare them for war. I don't care that we're intel. We're soldiers first and we know our job, but we're also going to be tough. Like, we're not going to be just like whiny because we're intel. Like, I don't accept that. And I wasn't trying to be combat arms either. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't trying to be like, oh, we're going to the front.
All gung ho, we're going to the front.
Do our job and we're going to do it right.
We would like to give a huge thanks to Rafa 180. Rafa 180 offers pure medicinal CBD and products made locally. They walk alongside individuals to achieve a healthy lifestyle with options needed by each person. You can learn more about them on Facebook at Rafa CBD, their website www.rafa180.com, or email at rafacbd@gmail.com. They truly believe your journey matters.
Do it well, and we're going to be soldiers. So that didn't go over well with my platoon. But, I mean, I got into a little trouble here and there for stuff like that, which annoyed me because I'm like, this is what the Army is supposed to be. Like, we're supposed to have that standard.
We're
so
supposed to be badasses, getting ready for war.
Right. Like, why am I getting in trouble for trying to hold a standard that's written in the regulations? Like, that's ridiculous.
Right.
So,
I'm following regs. You tell me to follow these damn regs. I'm following regs. Damn, I'm the NCO.
But you know what? I think that's a problem with females leading. Like if I were a guy, I would have been seen totally differently. You
No,
know,
absolutely, man. I mean, you
my
guys hit
husband
this.
got away with murder. Like he had an attitude like nobody's business. People loved him, and I was like, I can't even look sideways when I'm in front of my NCO, and you're over here telling him to go pound sand. I was like, what?
It is true, you know what I'm saying? And it sucks, but it is true. You know, my wife is a very, she likes to say she's a feminist, but not this new age feminist stuff, like old school feminist. She like the old school feminist. Like she's very strong willed. She started her own company. She's doing her own thing, and she associates herself with like minded women that are like we lead from the front, you know. And she always
Yeah,
looks at me and she's like, "You a sexist pig." I was like, I mean, I'm sexist to an extent. Like, I mean, I'm excited when I see women out there doing their thing. The only way I get sexist is when they beat me at something that I know I'm better than them at. Like, if they beat me in promotions, I get pissed because I'm like, hey, I've been doing this job a hell of a lot longer. I have every damn certification required for this position. But because she got a pretty face, she got the job over me with no education and no
right.
experience, you know, and just different things like that. It upsets me. There's certain things, but I was like, you know, I said, that's why, you know, like I said, when I opened the show, I'm like, you know, we all men, you know how men are. We are fucking, we can be sexist pigs. We can be very degrading to women. We can, you know, but it's like I said though, you guys signed that fucking dotted line, that same dotted line that I signed. You said I will take a bullet for your ass. I don't know who you are, but I'll take a bullet for you. Like that's my oath is to take a bullet. I got your six. That's the biggest thing. I'm not gonna let anybody attack you from the back, you know? And so, like you said you got looked at differently because of the simple fact you was a female and you wasn't acting like a female is supposed to act in the military. And you're
Mhm.
like, well, what's the standard for that? Like, how is a female supposed to act in the military? I'm an NCO.
Right.
I'm a sergeant of soldiers. Like I'm a sergeant, and I got rules and regulations I have to abide by, and I have to enforce for my platoon to ensure that they are within regulations, right? And like you said, your husband over there, you tell him go pound sand, dude. I don't want to hear shit. And they're like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like,
You tell him that. You're like, damn, why you gotta be so damn mean? Why you gotta talk to him like that?
yeah. Well, listen. So, and you know what? I'm with you too. Like, I can't stand the females in the military that ride that wave. That
Mhm.
because I was overlooked for promotion a lot because I would not give sexual favors. Like, I'm talking, I was an E4 for 4 years. I was an E5 for 5 years, and that's like it's like there's something wrong with you for having that rank for so long. But
Right.
it was because like I did all the things right and I worked my butt off. But when it came down to it, I would go to my leadership and be like, okay, like here's the stuff that I'm supposed to do to get promoted. Like, when can I go to the board? And they'd be like, oh, you know what you need to do. And I
Shit.
was like, not doing that. And then I would see females come right on up. They didn't know their ass from a hole in the ground. They didn't know their jobs, couldn't wear their dang uniform right, just flitting around like lazy, and they would get promoted and outrank me. Like that pisses me off. It
Absolutely.
does. And that's one of the reasons why it's taken me so long to like embrace this whole thing with veterans because that is not okay.
No,
Like
absolutely.
that and that is not okay. And it made me feel like, you know what? Even though I love my job and I know I'm good at my job, no matter which one it is, because I had three, maybe we should have just stayed in the nurse corps and like kept because if you talk to like the old school like ladies, they had to have etiquette classes, makeup classes. Like, I think they should bring that back. I really do. Like, you should learn how to be a woman or be like compose yourself. I mean, I know it's a different army these days, a different military these
Have
days.
you have you
Uh,
speaking of different military standards, have you seen the new Air Force grooming standards for females?
dude, even the army can do ponytails now.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I saw that and I said, you have got to be flipping kidding me. Like seriously?
I mean, I think it's good, but I think it looks stupid.
No,
Like it's
come
probably
on.
good for
They got
your hair.
pigtails. You can wear pigtails like double braids.
I know.
I'm like, what the
They can
fuck
wear
is
multiple braids. I know. I just think it looks weird in uniform. I
it
do.
does.
But
In uniform, it does. You have a standard. I'm used to seeing the bun. That's all you've ever been able to
yeah,
wear was the bun.
I
Now you
know.
can wear pigtails if you want to wear pigtails. I'm like,
See, yeah. I mean, I think it's good in a way to like let girls show some individuality like that. As long as there's some sort of standard kept. But like I had an issue too with women liking me, and they would always tell me like this happened a lot, and it would always be like a close friend of mine. Once it was with a girl that had a family, like she'd been married for 18 years, had a 15-year-old son, and we would hang out and we'd go to lunch together because we worked together. And then she was like, "Hey, listen, so I think I'm into girls." And I'd be like, "All right, well, whatever." This is before it was okay in the military, but I don't care who you like,
yeah,
right?
right.
Like
That's
I
on
don't
you. Don't
you
force
do
it
you
on me.
boo. Like
Right.
you do you. But I was like, "All right, we're friends." And she's like, "Well, I am attracted to females that look like dudes." So it's confusing, she said, because when you're in uniform, you look like a dude, but when you're in civilian clothes, you look real girly. And I was like, well, she goes, which is it? I was like, well, I don't have any control over how I look in my uniform. Like, I
Like,
don't,
what the fuck you want me to do? I
like,
don't know.
I put the uniform on, I put my hair in a bun. Most of the time, I don't wear makeup because I don't care what people think about me with no makeup on. And then when I'm out, like off duty, like that shit goes.
Right?
It's
That
the
shit
first
just
thing
comes
that comes
off.
off with my uniform, and I put different clothes on. Like, so when I'm a civilian, like
That's me.
that's me. So I mean, I
You're
think
like, is
it's
that an
good.
insult? Because I look like a man in uniform and then a
Dude,
female
I
when I
don't
take my
know.
clothes
I've been told stuff like that my whole life, so I'm like, I don't.
off. What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
I had a guy. Okay, when I was like before I went active duty, I was after I came back from Iraq, I was bartending, and some dude like came to my restaurant like 3 days in a row and sat in my section every night, and was at the end of the third night, he was like, "Listen, I am an FBI profiler," which I was like, "Are you now?" Okay,
How are you now?
because I'm sure you would tell me that if you were.
Right?
But he said, "I'm an FBI profiler, and I've been watching you these last 3 days, and so are you a lesbian or are you bisexual?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, what? Like you've seen me slinging drinks and bringing food out to you. I don't
Okay.
understand how that translates." And he's like, "Well, you walk with so much confidence. I feel like you have to be either a lesbian or bisexual." I'm like, "That's ridiculous,
That's stupid.
right?" I
That's
mean,
stupid.
I don't know. Like, I didn't know that that was a prerequisite to be
So I
lesbian or
walk with
bisexual,
a
to
limp
be
in my
confident.
pimp, right?
But yeah. So anyway, that's always come back at me, and I'm like, for the record, everybody, I don't judge, but I like a demens. So
I like the
married
man.
to a
I like the man. So yeah, you got damn you do got you a hell of a story. You're like, like everybody loves me. Everybody loves me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody
Everybody
loves
needs me too. That's that I think that was, I was so confused in the army because it was like, growing up, like I didn't have guys hitting on me or anything like that. Like I was super naive and sheltered and everything. So I married the first guy that looked at me because I was like, oh, well, I guess this is all I got. I mean, nobody else likes me. And of course, that didn't go well, but
You say he took everything. Fucking
yeah, took everything. Um, but so I had that mentality still like in the army, like even though I knew I was like really outnumbered. So that's what I equated it to. Like, oh well, I mean, they just want a piece because there's like one girl to every 50 men,
right. Yeah,
no big
absolutely.
deal. Like I am nothing special. But I think with like the girls, it was just because I was never judgmental. Like, I had a really good friend in Korea. She was an officer, but she had like no platoon sergeant in her platoon. and I had no platoon leader. But so we
Go
were
figure
always
that.
like, we would always work late at night, and you know, her office is across the hall. She'd play good music, and I'd be like, "Ma'am, we got to go out dancing." And she was like, "I can't fraternize with you." I'm like, "What's in Korea? Like everybody's fraternizing here,
Right.
and we're just friends, right?"
And
And
that's why you
this,
get raped.
right, right. But she and I were like, she and I became really good girlfriends, and that was something like, as a female in the military, it's really hard to connect with other females.
No,
Like
I
it's
bet. I bet.
really
Yeah.
hard, you know? And then she ended up like deciding she wasn't straight anymore and liked me too. And I was like, listen, like, and I think it was just because, like, you know, I mean, I just don't judge, and I'm a good listener with my friends. I'm just like, hey, like, I'm support you, whatever you want to do, you know. But now I have to put the caveat in there, like, whatever you want to do, but me.
But me, not me.
Right.
Like,
Anything but me that you want to do, I support you. So
that's horrible. You're just like, I can't break a fucking leg right now.
I know, like, I can't make girlfriends, like actual
And it
friends.
sucks, you know what I'm saying? It sucks. And then you get frowned upon because why are you always talking to guys all the time? Why are you always talking to this guy? Why are you always talking to that guy? Because all the women want to sleep with me and all the
Yeah,
guys want to sleep with me. And I like the guys better than I like the girls.
I'd rather sleep with a guy. So
I
if I'm
almost
gonna,
spend more time with the guys than I am with the girls because they
I
both
don't want to accidentally give a girl the wrong impression. I
you know,
know.
and it sucks because I mean it's true. I mean, you guys don't talk about it, but I've met a couple of women that like, yeah, that shit happens all the time. Like
All the
it
time.
happens all the time. It's like because I'm a great listener. And you're like, fuck, is that all you gotta be? Is a great listener? And you have these sorry saps that are like, I can't get a girl to sleep with me. You gotta be a good listener.
Listen, that's the trick.
You just listen. You just gotta listen to people, you know. So
You
I
don't
mean, you got damn, you got some stories, man. You got some stories, and now you teamed up with VTT, and you're doing the Women's Sunday, right? What's it called now? The Women
It is Veteran Trash Talk Female Warrior Edition.
Female Warrior Edition every Sunday, right? You're doing an episode every Sunday for
Yes.
VTT, you know, and
And
it's an
each,
honor. I think they're doing awesome things over there. I think they're building a strong community. They're doing great things, you know. But I mean, it's like I said, we always have to take care of each other. We always have to do things, man. And you jumping into the podcast world, as you can see, man, there's multiple podcasts. All you guys know that watch these shows, there's hundreds of thousands of veteran podcasts all over freaking YouTube and anywhere you can imagine, right? And it's always like, why did you pick us? You know what I'm saying? Whatever
Mhm.
reason it is, you know, we appreciate that you guys pick us to listen to, you know, because we're building our community. And honestly, when it comes down to it, I don't really care who you pick. It's just listen, open your ear and listen to what is being needed for our brotherhood, for our community. I always stress it on my show is that we have to build a community around us because nobody understands us better than our own brothers and sisters that serve, that understand, oh, that's why he's fucked up because of this. This is why she's fucked up because she had to deal with this shit in Korea. Apparently, Korea, like I said, put fucking big ass X on Korea. Don't ever go to Korea,
Yeah,
apparently.
I'm
You know what I'm
free.
saying?
Yeah.
Especially you're like, oh, when they tell you when you check in, you're gonna get raped. And you're
Mhm.
not gonna tell me that. I believe Robin that I had on the show a few weeks ago, she said the same shit when she checked in. They said you're gonna get raped.
Yes.
What the fuck do you
Like,
mean?
they just accept it as like, hey, this is the norm. You're gonna get raped over here.
You're gonna get raped. It's like, how the fuck is that the norm? What the fuck is leadership doing? Like leadership isn't doing something apparently because people are just doing it, you know?
Mhm.
And so you doing the Veteran Warriors edition. How is everything going with that with your new podcast show since you jumping into being a podcast, veteran podcast as well? What are you thinking about that? How are things moving with that?
Listen, I don't know what I'm doing, but I feel like, you know, these are my people that I'm talking to, right? Like
Right.
I talked to Nick, he's the one that had reached out to me from Veteran Trash Talk
Mhm.
and asked me to do this. And I said, can I do it my way? Because I'm only gonna do it if I can do it my way.
Right.
And he said, yeah, it's your show. And so my way being that, you know, I want to get these stories out of these female warriors that have been through traumatic experiences. It's not always sexual assault. Most of the time it is, but I want to get their stories out, but I want it to come from a place of like their scars and not their wounds.
Right.
Meaning, I want them to be able to share it from a place where it's like, hey, this is what has happened, and I'm working on myself. You know what I mean? Because I want the our listeners who still maybe they haven't started that journey of healing yet to understand that that is so important. You know, like when you refuse to start healing, or you just like are determined to stay mad and angry and um like vengeful or whatever, like you're hurting yourself.
Right.
The person, your perpetrator, the person that hurt you, they don't care. Like
Right.
they're living their life however they're living their life, right? And Derry said something to me. She said something during our interview that's so powerful. And she saw her perpetrator come across some way, and she said it was then that she knew she needed help, because she was looking him up and everything, like he's got a family, he's happy, he's living his life, and she is not. Like she's re-victimizing herself every single day. And she said it was then that I knew I had to go get help for myself.
Right.
And so that is what I really want to do. Like, I would love to tell everybody's story, but there are some women that aren't ready to share that story yet because
Yeah.
it's just way too fresh of a wound, like that girl on TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. So, but I want it to be a place where veterans can listen, know that you're not alone, because it's like so silent. Like nobody wants to talk about it, but it's really common, you know?
Oh, absolutely. No, I mean, like you said, I mean, it's so common that it's almost like, yeah, that's another one. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And it's ridiculous that it goes that way. I mean, like me, I never been in the Marine Corps. I mean, I'm sure like shit happens. It happens. Do you guys get sexually assaulted? Fuck yeah, you guys. It happens, right? And that's anywhere. It's not just in Korea, but it's anywhere in the fucking military. Women get sexually assaulted and harassed on a regular basis. Probably more towards because a lot of the females, they don't come into the realms of where I'm at. Like your infantry, you don't have a lot of females in infantry. I mean, now that they opened it up, their women are trying to become like men now, and they want to be in the infantry units, or an engineer. I didn't have a lot of females. I had one or two, and like you said, I had the one that was in there. She would bust her knuckles with me replacing diesel engines, but then I had those ones that were sitting in the office. So I don't want to get my nails dirty.
Right.
You
The
know,
same way that, yeah, as a motor T truck driver is the same thing. It was like,
it,
and females really we have to work 2 to 3 times as hard just to prove our worth.
yeah, absolutely.
And then when you do have those females that are like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that. Or, well, he wants to sleep with me, so I'm just gonna go that route.
Right.
Like that sets us all back. Like instead of like that's great, it worked for you to get ahead, but it sets everybody else back because
It
now we have to
does.
work even harder to just earn people's respect. So I think that's really important too, to bring that out. And we have to squash that. Like I don't want our podcast to be like, we hate men,
No, yeah, 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 absolutely.
you know, like uh because really it's not a huge portion of them. Like the majority of the men that I ran across the military were great men.
Right.
But everywhere I went, there was at least one bad one.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
so that's what we want to get across. And two, because I was interviewed a couple weeks ago by our U.S. Army WTF moments, and they asked, like, would you have men on the show? And I said, absolutely, because men are assaulted as well. Like, if
Yeah.
they want to come and tell their story, then I'd love to have them on. And I want to find the men who were also wrongfully accused. I
Oh,
know
yeah,
this is real
absolutely.
taboo, but there are those cases too where the females will say, they have consensual sex and then they change their minds for whatever reason, maybe because they're married or because they just feel guilty or whatever, and then they holler rape.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
they put that guy through hell. And so I want to talk to those guys too, because I think it's important to really tell the whole story and not just the one side of it. But I want it to really be a place where our female veterans especially can come and listen to these stories and maybe heal a little bit through the stories, find different resources to help themselves. So if they're if they qualify for VA, or if they're still in, maybe they can be seen by somebody, or even like Neuroflow picked up my podcast as a sponsor, and they work with the Air Force right now, but any leadership in the military like really needs to work with them, because it's all about the mental health through your phone. Like, you text them and stuff through your phone so that you can let them know like, hey, this is where I'm at. And it just kind of helps make it less uncomfortable, like having to go through the entire chain and that sort of thing. So I really just want people to know that you're not alone, that we hear you and we're here for you, and let's help you find some healing, and so that you can, because you deserve to live an amazing life. Like that girl on TikTok last night broke my heart, because she said, this is why women in the military kill themselves.
Absolutely.
And I mean, there are so many reasons for veterans committing suicide, but when you're not heard and you report something, you report a rape, and then that guy just gets off scot-free, and you basically get victimized, and you get pushed out,
Right.
that's a problem. But I want those women to know too, like, hey, don't give up. Like, this is a shitty situation and it sucks, but there is a purpose for you on this earth. There is a reason you're here. Let's help you turn your mess into a message, and so that you can enjoy your life, whatever that entails, whether it's staying in the military, getting out of the military, whatever. But I really want people to understand that, it doesn't matter where you come from, what you've been through. If you can work through it and love yourself, then you can do anything with your life. And that probably sounds very
No,
cliche, like
you're
very,
absolutely right
but
though.
you can do anything with your life. Like, I didn't think that, I thought I was stuck in the army. Like, I stayed for so long because I was like, I
And
got no, like, I've had a million jobs, but no careers. I got no college degree. Like, what am I gonna
what are you
do?
gonna do, right? And that's the biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing. It's like you said with with MST, with the females that suffer from MST, there's a lot that suffer from MST that people aren't aware of. I didn't even know what the hell MST was until I started talking to some of the females that I brought on the show, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's what it's classified as. Okay, I understand that, But that's the demons that you guys deal with. I mean, as a veteran, we all have our own fucking demons that we deal with.
Mhm.
As I always tell people, I said it's okay not to be okay, you know.
Right.
But like you said, we have to learn how to work through it. We just can't just put it in a box. Like I always say, you put it in a box
Mhm.
and you put it on the shelf and you say, not today, bitch. I'm gonna leave
Right.
you up there and I'll deal with you when I'm ready to deal with you. Me, I'm never ever ready to deal with it.
Right.
Sometimes it gets knocked down. I'm like, fuck, I gotta clean that shit up and put it away because it affects your life. I
Right.
just had a meeting with my psychiatrist and he looked at me. He said, "You're at 90." He said, "You're wanting your 100%." I said, "Hell yeah." And he's like, "All right." He said, "Your PTSD will get you there." And I said, "Okay, well, let me continue seeing you. Let me
Yeah.
get you to continue to freaking prescribe me medication that they feel as though will help me because it don't." People
Yeah.
suffer from PTSD. People have mind crippling PTSD and it fucks their whole life up. It fucks their relationships with their spouse, their friends, with everybody around them. It screws them up, right? Like I said, this is my therapy. Bringing people like you on, my brothers and sisters, bringing you guys on my show is my therapy because I'm able to hang out with you guys for a set amount of time and just hang out and just shoot the shit for a little bit. And like
Yeah.
you said, you're trying to help your brothers and your sisters with your show, with what you're talking about. How do I begin my journey to get over the bullshit that I've been through? And there's people out there that want to help us. And that's
Right.
what we're supposed to do is provide resources. That's what we want to do is provide resources for you guys to say, hey, look, what do you want to do? What are you dealing with? Oh, I'm dealing with this. I'm dealing with that. I'm dealing with this. VTT has some great people on there to talk mental health.
Yep.
How do you get through the mental health? There's certain areas, whatever you're into, working out. You like to work out, right, Leah? You
Yeah.
have a workout regimen that you do on a regular basis, right?
Yes. And you know what? Actually, I don't like to work out, but I like the benefits of it. And you
Mhm.
know what? I've broken down crying before out of nowhere, because it helps. It's therapeutic,
It is.
Um, I like to try to be healthy because, I mean, the army messed me up. I'm not a very healthy person. I got arthritis and degenerative disc disease in my neck, back, and knee. I got freaking whatever, autoimmune, like all kind of whatever. They shot me up with everything, right? Just
Right,
like everybody
right.
else. So there's always something crazy going on with our bodies. But so I try to combat that as much as possible by being healthier, like I limit my drinking and I take supplements to help, like vitamins and supplements, and I work out and I drink water, like all those things, because all of that stuff, like the more, like if you're depressed and you're dealing with those demons, or like just letting them sit in your mind and you're not doing anything, it just eats you alive.
Absolutely.
So you have to be busy doing something that will bring you up. And for me, I found, through health and wellness, like working out and just finding different things to take care of my body. Like, I mean, it's boring to a lot of people, but just some of the foods that you eat, even if they're healthy foods, they might be giving you inflammation,
Right.
I mean, just because they're healthy. So, I mean, just different things like that I found is very interesting, and it kind of keeps my mind going. And as long as I can try to keep my body healthy, my mind kind of follows suit in that. And with that too, like I do a lot of personal development, a lot of reading, nonfiction, you know, um, audiobooks, podcasts. Like whenever if I'm moving around, cleaning the house or driving or like whatever, I've got somebody talking to my ear, positive stuff.
Right. Absolutely. You have to ensure that you, like I said, you got to build your community around you. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Who do you want to meet? Without this show, I wouldn't have met the amazing people I've met so far that I brought on my show. Like I said, I've been able to bring on Travis Johnson. He was number 11, top 25 veteran owned podcast. I brought Richard Kaufman, number 8, top 25 veteran owned podcast. The people that I'm able to bring on my show, Justin Graber. I mean, a lot of people don't know Justin Graber, but I mean, he's out there, he's making movies. This guy's in Hollywood making movies right now. He's a veteran doing these things, I know a lot of people that do a lot of things, but I provide the resources for you guys out there that are wanting to do something. Like, I lost my purpose after getting out. What am I supposed to be doing? Sergeant G ain't in the corner telling me, hey, this is what we're doing today. This is where you need to be. This is what we have to do. And this is when you get to go home. You don't have Sergeant G doing that. You don't have Sergeant Leah doing that no more. They ain't telling you what to do anymore. Now it's like, now I got to find a reason what to do. What can I do? What do I want to do that's going to help bring funds into my pocket besides my disability check, besides get my GI Bill? There are things out there. What is your purpose again? You know what I'm saying? We deal with our demons that we deal with. The government gave it to us. We gave the government our life, and guess what? It fucked us over. Now we're fucked up in the head, and we can't relate to the civilian population out there anymore. You know what I'm saying? I tell people, regardless if you went to combat or not, you have PTSD from serving in the military. You went in as a certain person, and you came out what the government wanted you to be. And now you have to try to, how do I bring that into a civilian life again? That's the best part. What do you do? What do we do now? Find the purpose again. What is our purpose again to live this life? Why am I dealing with these demons that I deal with on a regular basis? What are you doing to get out of it? What have you found? A lot of people become entrepreneurs. A lot of people that come on my show are entrepreneurs. That's what they do now. They found their purpose. They didn't want to punch the clock anymore for somebody else, because it sucks when you see other people getting rich off of your work of what you're doing,
Yep.
and it's hard and it sucks, This has been great, Leah. I've been having fun. I've been having a blast. I know it's getting late now. It's dinner time. It's starting to get dinner time, getting everything going, man. You got anything else you want to say to these guys that have been following us, trying to get us, boosting us up, getting our numbers up?
Listen, just hit subscribe to the Stone Vet, man. And then if anybody wants to connect with me, you can find me basically on any social media platform.
I'll
Facebook,
have all her information in the description box.
happy to talk with you. And if I can help you in any way, I'm here. I support you. And I just want to thank you so much for having me on tonight. It's been awesome.
Absolutely.
I enjoy you so much. So
it's a blast. I had a blast. I knew I would, just speaking with you earlier. I knew it'd be a good time, Like I said, guys, Leah, every Sunday, she's going to be on Veteran Trash Talk channel, man. Go check her shows out. She's had some good guests, and guess what? They're just going to get better. She's part of the family now. She's part of the VTT family, Trash Talk Nation, right? You want to reach out to Leah, I'll have all her information in the description down below. And like she said, don't forget to hit that daggum subscribe button, man. Help us help you. That's what it's about. Our brothers and sisters helping us find a purpose again, you know? Like I said here, man, here at the Stone Vet, we got your sit.
Relax. It's Friday. You ain't got a job. We gon' get high today. Darker the flesh, the deeper the roots, greener the weed. You know it's true. Puff, puff, pass. Trying to get high. Got high blood pressure. We coming down. Good smoke. Please numb me down.